How you guys doing? It's Jared here with Ode Archery, and we're going to be slinging some out to 100 yards today. Going to do some field points, going to do some broadheads today, see how everything's going. It's about a week away for us here in Oklahoma, and it's getting exciting, and I haven't really stretched my broadheads out much past about 60 or 70, so today will be a good test for them. A little breezy, a little windy, but hey, if you don't like hunting in the wind, you don't like hunting in Oklahoma that much. Let's see how I do down there. Okay, 100-yard broadhead shot. Let's see how it does. They've been flying pretty good. I've ran them out to about 60 so far. It's about the furthest I've ran them. So 100. If I hit okay at 100, then I'll be happy. And by okay, I'm keeping my standard to hitting the red target. That's never take a 100-yard shot. I just mainly want to see how it flies through the air at this range. If it's really stable, the closer it gets to the target. If it looks like it's staying stable, that's a really, really good thing. Okay, here we go. 100-yard broadhead. Ooh, sounded good. Hey guys, so you just saw a shot at 100 with my fixed blade broadhead. It's a 100 grain Muzzy Trocar. I guess the biggest keynotes that I noticed here is my arrow flight was really good. I didn't have a lot of wobble. I didn't have any parachuting on the back end. And the arrow seemed to track through the air really nicely, just, you know, kind of paying attention to the lighted knock as it flew, and then kind of rewinding the video back and watching that last 20 or so yards of flight like it's able to catch. Everything looked good. There's a lot of things that go into that are often overlooked. One is you've either got to re-sight your bow or you've got to mess with your rest. That is a whole nother arguing point. I'm not going to get into that. You got to do one of those two things typically once you switch over to broadheads. Second, probably most importantly, you've got to spin and square your arrows. If you do not square your arrows and follow it up with spinning your broadheads on a spinner, Pine Ridge makes good ones. Even if you go buy an El Cheapo $10 one on Amazon, it is better than not spinning them. So spin your arrows, guys. Make sure that you don't have any wobble in the front end. That'll just induce a lot of drag and lift where you don't want it, and it'll really affect your flight, the flight trajectory of your arrow. You even will notice significant effects at 20, 30, and 40 yards if you have a arrow that's not mated up with a broadhead good enough. You'll just see all kinds of issues downrange. Main things I was just looking at just now, pretty simple. Through the flight of the arrow, one of the things that is most noticeable, especially if you have a lighted knock, is as the arrow is flying, if you have one of two problems. One, if your broadhead is not squared properly to your arrow and you have a lot of wobble up there, that will cause issues in your arrow flying this way or planing one direction or another depending on the type of broadhead you have. Another thing is these little bad boys right here, these old lighted knocks. These are so wonderful. They're a great tool, but they are also a detriment to your arrow. As you can see, I run a wrap and I run 4 fletches back here. The back end of my arrow is already heavy. I have got to make up for it on the front end by adding a collar and a few other things. I run an insert and a collar to get the front end of my arrow weight, to get weight shifted back to the front end of my arrow. And that was one of the main reasons and motivations to shoot 100 yards today with my broadhead, was to see how stable that arrow was in flight, especially that last 20 to 30 yards of flight. At 100 yards, it's just a great yardage to be able to watch for a good length of time while that arrow's in the air. So just little things like that keep in mind. it'll always pay dividends in the winter, in the fall, when you're drawn back and you're shooting at a deer 30-40 yards, or if you're in the mountains and you're shooting 50-60 yards at an elk. It always will pay off. It's never going to let you down if you do the little things right. And that's what archery is. It's doing a lot of little things right. And boy, when they line up, everything's going good. When they don't line up, it lets you know, right? It's a humbling thing. Anyways, I'm going to slide over here. I'm going to try to shoot some of these field points down here at the target and wrap up my evening this evening. If you don't mind, get down there at the bottom, give me a couple likes, ask me some questions, critique me, make fun of me, do whatever you want to do. I'm all game for it. I'm going to wrap up this video shooting a couple of arrows down at 100 with field points, and we'll call it evening. Okay, I'm going to end today shooting at the Glendale buck. Feel sorry for him. I'm going to put an arrow right behind the shoulder. We'll see. It's at 100. He's a little tiny Glendale buck too. He's a small one. He ain't the big one like I got at the house. Let's see here. And let's zoom it in. Ooh. Okay. And don't y'all be judging me. It's a long way away, and there's a little deer. That's a Texas deer. That ain't one of them Oklahoma deer. Let's see what I can do here. 100-yard Glendale buck. Let's see what can be done. Oh, poor Glendale, he goes through the ringer now. Every year gets put through the ringer. Okay, here we go. Glendale would die. I'm not happy with that. I said behind the shoulder. I didn't say where behind the shoulder though. Okay, redemption. Even though Glendale would be dead, that ain't a good shot. We gotta do it again. Well, ain't that something? Well, one thing's for sure, that's a good group. I'll send me another one. Whew, man, I'll tell you what. Okay, last Glendale buck thing, I shot a really good group, but I was hitting like high and right about 8 inches. We're gonna try to fix that. So now we're gonna shoot Glendale buck where he's supposed to be shot at, not where I decided that I was going to hit all 3 arrows at, okay? And get her all fixed up. Okay, let's try this again. That one felt good.